Hello, Days for Lots fans. This is for Tuesday, January the 30th. Well, we'll start off with what I like to call Stephanie's Walk of Shame. Leo catches her slithering out of Everett's hotel room, and he confronts her, and she reminds him who her boss is, Everett, and how close she is to Chad, the owner, and she's the PR person, and if he wants to keep a job, he'll zip his lip, so he's considered zipped. Meanwhile, she continues her walk of shame. She goes downstairs, and who sees her? Chanel. She walks over and gives her a big cup of coffee and says, "You look like you need this more than me." And Stephanie's like, "Thanks. I guess you're wondering." And Chanel said, "I'm not wondering anything. You're a grown woman, and you can do what you want, and people in this town need to mind their own business." And then she notices Chanel's beautiful engagement ring from our beloved Johnny, and they start talking about that. She continues her walk of shame when she goes home and finds out Kayla worked all night and a night shift at the hospital, and Patrick was up all night babysitting John. So yeah, they both seen her slither in. So Patch pulls her aside and says, "Sweet little sweetness, if you want to slither around, you can just follow your dream, and me and your mama's here with you." Yeah, that's great. So Leo, he goes over to Everett to let him know, "I've seen your woman coming out," and Everett's like, "Oh, it's not what you think." So he convinces him not to print anything about it, and that nothing happened. And Leo's like, "Okay, if you say so." So Paulina slips off to the hospital. She doesn't tell anyone. She's an anonymous patient, but she's having trouble breathing and stuff. And Sarah says, "Well, we're going to redo the CT scan. I think you should call your daughter." So they did. They called Chanel, and in comes Chanel and Johnny, the troops. Meanwhile, Johnny earlier has got his hands full with a nail biting wound tighter than a bomb Stefano at home, telling, Johnny's in a good mood. He's like, "Good for you, nephew." And Johnny's like, "What's wrong with you?" So it's like, "What's wrong with me? My wife is in Statesville. She's been hurt. I miss her. I think about her every day. You don't know what it's like. She shouldn't be there." And Johnny's like, "Man, are you kidding? You got Ava out here on the side. What's the big deal? If you really loved Gabi," and he's like, "How dare you? I really love Gabi. I do love Gabi." And he said, "You kissed Ava in front of your family and lots of people." And he's like, he just kept getting madder and madder. He's about to blow like a volcano. He is going off on Johnny, and he said, you don't understand. You're a little pisshead." And Johnny's like, "Oh, pisshead." So they got into it bad, and then he storms off. So Johnny just goes off. So anyway, Ava, she's busy interrogating Wendy, who I don't like and never have, about what her intentions are with her son, Tripp. And she's like, just a lot of women just use him and throw him aside. And Wendy gets all offended, man. Ugh. And she's like, "How dare you?" So anyway, Harris Michaels is trying to call in the middle of their thing. And she's like, "Just let it ring, let it ring." And then Wendy said, "Let me ask you some questions." And Ava's like, "Well, I don't like this. Are we good?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're good." And Ava don't care, man. She's her mother. Wendy disrespected her in this conversation. I don't like Wendy. Meanwhile, Stefano is calling Ava, and she answers the phone and says, "Stop calling Harris." And he's going off on her, saying, "Are you talking to him? Have you been to see him? What's going on?"